wanted to build show my inventory here of the models I've got that go back, goodness, 35 years or so. So these are the OG right here. So we got these two, like a goblin and an orc or something like that. They came out of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition Battle System miniature Wargame Rules box set. First minis I got, as you can see, this guy needs some work. Spearhead busted off, so I gotta fix that. Picked this guy up at some point because he was cool. He looks really awesome. Knight in shining armor with a mace. And then I got this barbarian and this ranger that are from the I think they were meant to support the board game Talisman, and they just look cool, so I picked them up. And these were all, ones that I picked up in high school. And so I'll show you some of the other D&D themed ones in a bit. Okay, so more of the D&D miniatures, D&D themed miniatures. I played a lot of D&D as a kid. I still do every once in a while. Anyway, really got into chainmail, really. I have 20 models that are chainmail here. But went on a bit of a buying binge, and then didn't really do anything with them. So, I've got the starter set here. Missing the gnome. I don't know where the gnome sharpshooter. I don't know where he went. I got the extra box here of the Mariner and the Glaver. I have a Mordenguard starter or faction box. Missing the Legionnaire. I don't know where he went. And then the elf archer, wood elf archer. I have the big ogre mercenary. And then some other odds and ends. I have a Swiftwing Disciple, and then some 3rd edition miniatures that were released to support D&D 3, 3rd edition 3.5. So we got the Dwarf Cleric here, and Lyda, Halfling Rogue, a few others, another Ogre, and a Halfling Monk over here. So that's the sort of the fantasy themed D&D specific models. More to come. Alright, so this is the Dream Pod 9 stuff. When I got out of the service and I came back home, this game was just coming out, and I loved Robotech as a kid. I loved mechs. There was something about heavy gear that was just really, really cool. Just a rich backstory. It's got a role-playing game, miniatures, tactical miniatures game, and that sort of a thing, and an anime-inspired art. Anyway, the first one I got was this Cheetah. It's an RAFM miniature, and I think it's a 1/35th scale, so they didn't stick with this. For very long. I only saw these for a short period of time. But they went to I think it's a 1/44th scale or something like that. And so here we've got a Hunter that came with the Tactical Miniatures Rules box set. He's been assembled. I think he had a vibroblade, but that looks like it might have popped off and got lost in one of the many shufflings and moves. And then recently, I would say 5 years ago or something like that, re-piqued my interest. Bought a couple of box sets. Still haven't done anything with them. And then DreamPod 9 also made this game called Gear Krieg, which is sort of a pulp World War II setting. And that includes, super science stuff and zombies, all that kind of jazz, including mecha. So, we got this American Longstreet, and a German Loki, which, as you can see, I've partly primed poorly and they've fallen apart. So work to be done here. Space Marines. All right. This is it. This is all my Games Workshop stuff. I think these came out of a get started painting kit. Had a couple of paints in it, that kind of a thing. I've always wanted to get into, been interested, I guess I would say, in Warhammer 40,000. But it's, geez Louise, the game is expensive and the rules are constantly being modified and whatnot. But as you can tell, for anybody who's into the game, I'm a Dark Angels guy, so these guys are partially painted. This is probably about the closest I've gotten to getting something done. And you can see that the heavy weapons guy there fell apart, so some cleanup and finishing to be done here. Alright, next up here we've got some War Machine minis. I really love the aesthetic of these. Just this steampunk magic infused technology. I guess I lied about when I said I hadn't gotten very far, or the Space Marines were the first I've ever gotten. I got pretty far with these guys. I played the game a couple of times and actually took a break from, a wage professional job and worked at Perfect Heroes for a short period of time, boxing the minis. So I got to play the game a little bit. They're really cool models. I think Mike McVeigh was his name. He used to be a sculptor or painter in the old Games Workshop days. He came in and did some models for them. Anyway, they're really cool looking. These are the Cricks, the undead version. I can't take credit for that. My brother painted and based that one up while I was working on my Signar models. Anyway, obviously some work to do here. Reassembly, touch up, paint actually some of them. So we'll see when I can fit them into the schedule. Okay, this is the big purchase here. I picked up all of this stuff, most of this stuff I should say, about a year ago, and I've been moving slowly along with it. I know it doesn't look like it. There's a bag filled with some disassembled models, and I've got my stone wall here for bolt action, and my ruined house came with the Band of Brothers starter set for bolt action by Warlord Games. I picked up some additional U.S. Airborne support group, some additional German Grenadiers that you can see back there, and some other models, and then got some freebies because of the Doctor Who license was expiring. The Mine Comrade came with the bolt action core rules. That's a cool model I'd love to paint up. And some German support elements here. So my interest really has kicked off on World War II, and I've been looking at 15 mil and 6 mil for micro armor and that kind of a thing, but I figured, I gotta get this stuff painted first. So my intent is to use this with Chain of Command. No knock on bolt action. It seems like a fun game. It requires a few more models, I think, to get to a game to the table. And I do like the sort of friction that exists in Chain of Command by Two Fat Lardies. So I'm doing 28 millimeter for Chain of Command, and we're going to see how that goes. But this is the big purchase that I got to get on it. But there's one more small group of miniatures that really told me or encouraged me that I got to get off the pot and get to work here, and I'll show them in a second. Okay, so these might be hard to see, especially turned around. But these are Star Wars Legion minis, except for Dr. River Song here. She's a doctor. Oh, she's River Song from Doctor Who. So we've got Princess Leia and Han Solo there. And for Star Wars Legion. And then, oh, that's not good. Well, River Song's broken hand. Gotta fix that. And then Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, and Grogu. And Han Solo and Princess Leia are special to me and my wife. We're big Star Wars nerds, so I bought these for her and was going to paint them for her. We had Princess Leia and Han Solo action figures on our wedding cake, so kind of got these for her as a gift. So really want to get these painted, and of course she fell in love with Grogu like 90% of the free world. So picked up the Din Djarin Grogu combo for Star Wars Legion and get those painted up as well. I saw a really neat idea where somebody put the Grogu figure on the base with Din Djarin, and I think that's what I'll do. I'll knock him off and remount him, and then put Grogu in there, paint him separately, and put Grogu on there. And then my wife's pretty big on Doctor Who as well. She liked the River Song character, so gonna paint her up as maybe first attempt on this flight of models. My goal is to paint some of the older ones, of course. Get my skill up a little bit before I try to tackle these for my wife, and hope they turn out okay as gifts. But anyway, these are the ones that are really like, I got to get a plan together. I've got far too many models and haven't put any time into them. So anyway, that's the inventory. This took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take to go through them all, but plenty of work to do, and should keep me busy for the foreseeable future.